Latest strange diplomacy from Dennis Rodman. The flamboyant former NBA star is back in North Korea to visit the dictator he calls his friend, Kim Jong-un. And the family of an American man in prison there is hoping the mission is about more than basketball. ABC's Bob Woodruff, one of the few Americans allowed to report from North Korea, has all the details.
Dennis Rodman is back in North Korea this morning, a trip he calls another basketball diplomacy tour, a follow-up visit to North Korea's dictator, Kim Jong-un.
Let's come over here to visit him, to see how he's doing, see how the family's doing, and just revisit the country.
The NBA Hall of Famer turned international diplomat told reporters he was planning a 5-day visit, but denied speculation that his visit was linked to a possible negotiation for the release of 44-year-old Korean-American Kenneth Bae, arrested and currently serving 15 years. Bae is accused of smuggling anti-government propaganda into the country.
My main plan is basically to come over here to not to be a diplomat, to be a friend of the marshal.
ABC News spoke to Bae's son, who says Rodman is his family's last hope. It is not likely Rodman will be able to bring my father home, but miracles happen. If anyone can bring him back, it's someone who calls Kim Jong-un a friend.
I'm an athlete. I know that the marshal, he loves sports. He loves basketball. And so I guess that me and him have something in common.
Rodman has been planning this trip since he returned from North Korea in March and drew heavy criticism for his public praise and admiration of Kim Jong-un during his interview with George Stephanopoulos.
When you said you love Kim and think he's awesome, were you aware of his threats to destroy the United States and his regime's horrendous record on human rights?
I hate the fact that he's doing that, but the fact of it is that, you know what, as a human being, though, he let his guards down. He did one thing to me, been a friend.
Now, it might be a little hard to hear exactly what he said, but he just said that he now considers Kim Jong-un as a friend of his, which is very controversial. But sadly, Rodman is really the only American getting in right now. The U.S. Human Rights Envoy Robert King was supposed to travel to North Korea last week to negotiate a hopeful release of Kenneth Bae, but that invitation was suddenly rejected.
And that, of course, why his family putting so much hope on Dennis Rodman. Bob Woodruff, thanks very much.
Ironic.
Okay. Great to see you, Bob.